Lena did not notice it happening. That was the strange part. There was no test she passed, no conversation that went perfectly. No morning she woke up and felt different. It happened the way most important things happen, quietly, without permission, while she was paying attention to something else. It was a Tuesday afternoon in November. Lena was cooking dinner. She had the radio on, not music, a talk show. Two people discussing something she only half cared about. She was chopping vegetables, thinking about a work email she needed to send, thinking about whether she had enough olive oil. The radio kept going. She kept chopping. And then one of the hosts said something funny. Lena laughed. She put down the knife. She stood in her kitchen for a moment, and she thought, I did not translate that. I just laughed. She tried to remember the last time she had translated something in her head. She could not find a recent example. She thought about her morning. She had read the news in English over breakfast. She had replied to 3 messages without stopping. She had listened to a podcast on the way to the grocery store. At no point had she been aware of doing any of it in English. She had just been doing it. Lena turned the radio down. She thought about when she had first arrived in this city, 4 years ago. She remembered the exhaustion of those first months, not physical exhaustion. The other kind, the kind that comes from being switched on all day. Every sign she read took effort. Every conversation required full concentration. Every evening she came home and felt emptied out. Language had been heavy then, something she carried everywhere. She had not noticed it getting lighter. She thought about a specific memory from that first year. She had gone to a pharmacy. Simple errand, 5 minutes. She had stood in front of the counter and asked for something. The pharmacist had asked a follow-up question. Lena had not understood it fully. She had smiled. She had said yes. She did not know what she had agreed to. She had walked out of the pharmacy with the wrong thing. She remembered standing on the pavement outside, bag in hand, feeling a specific kind of small. She turned the radio back up. The hosts were still talking. She started chopping again. She listened and chopped at the same time, without effort, without choosing to. She thought about something her friend had said to her recently. Her friend was also learning a language, a different one. She had called Lena one evening, tired and frustrated, asking when it would start to feel easier. Lena had not known what to say. She had said, I'm not sure it gets easier. I think you just get more used to it. One day you realize you stopped noticing. Her friend had not found this very helpful, but it was the most honest thing Lena could offer. The dinner was almost ready. Lena set the table. She thought about the word enough. For a long time, enough had felt far away. Enough meant fluent. Enough meant no mistakes. Enough meant sounding like someone who had grown up here. She had spent a long time chasing that version of enough. It had kept moving every time she got closer. It found a way to be further. She sat down to eat. The radio was still on. She listened without trying, and she thought about a different kind of enough. Not perfect, not invisible, not mistaken for someone local. Just functional in a full sense. Able to understand a joke without translating it, able to read the news without stopping, able to call a friend and say exactly what she meant, able to stand at a pharmacy counter and understand the question. That kind of enough. The kind she had actually been looking for, the kind she already had. After dinner, Lena washed the dishes. The talk show had ended. Music was playing now. She did not recognize the song. but she caught some of the words. She found herself humming along to the parts she did not know. She smiled at that. She thought about what she would tell her younger self. Not the self from 4 years ago, the self from 2 years in. The one who was trying hard and still felt behind. She would not say, "It gets easier." She would say something different. She would say, "One day you will be standing in your kitchen, chopping vegetables, not thinking about English at all, and something on the radio will make you laugh. And for a second you will stop and realize that you are no longer carrying it. It has become part of how you move through the world. You will not know exactly when it happened. That is fine. It happened." Here is something true about language learning. The finish line is not where you think it is. It is not the exam you pass. It is not the conversation that goes perfectly. It is not the day someone mistakes you for a native speaker. It is the day you forget to check. The day you stop asking yourself, "How was my English today?" and just ask instead, "How was my day?" Lena found that day on a Tuesday afternoon in November, chopping vegetables, half listening to the radio, not translating anything, just living in English, the way she had always hoped she would. So if you are somewhere in the middle right now, still carrying the language, still aware of it in every room you enter, that awareness will not always be there. Not because you will stop caring, because one day it will simply become yours, and you will not notice it leaving. You will only notice, much later, that it is gone.